Serrato was full of praise for Galvin, but did he improve their attack on the weekend?
Well, he did when the game was on the line, Braith. I mean, obviously, they didn't have a great night and Dragons defended them well. But you know what? He came up with the big play, as Dan said, when it was needed. And, you know, I'm not sure Toby Sexton throws his pass. You know, I think Toby's been good, and Buzz pointed out he was good in New South Wales Cup, but I'm not sure whether he comes up with that play like Lachlan Galvin did to win that game at the end of that match. So,
yeah,
you know, I mean, that's a 20-year-old kid who's under immense pressure to throw that pass when the game's on the line. Yeah. I mean, that takes a lot of stones.
That's all very fair comment. I go back to the first 78 minutes before that great pass was thrown, and I didn't see enough in Canterbury's attack to challenge a top 4 side.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, it is. When you say work in progress, we've got 7 rounds to go. We're in the business end of the season, and they need to sort it out pretty quickly or they won't last long in the fight.
Do you think they had an attack that could challenge top 4 sides consistently before all this went down?
Well, Dan, they were leading the competition for a very long period of time.
They had a good second half against
Canberra.
No, I understand, but they had a good second half against Canberra and they've beaten nobody. And am I right, Braith?
Yep.
They've beaten nobody. And that's not their fault. They can only beat the teams that they played. But do you think, and maybe you've answered that, by the fact they were on the top of the table.
You were on here last week pointing out why they needed to make the change.
No, this is where you're wrong, Rudy. And I stuck... No, you are. You're so wrong. Do you know what? I wish we could get a replay of what I said last week.
I'd love it.
What I said was I had mail last week that Lachlan Galvin would come into the side. I continued and I said I wouldn't have done that.
You pointed out the stats and why their attack was poor.
I didn't put the stats up on the board.
No. You spoke about them though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I put the stats up.
Yeah.
You
so
spoke about
I didn't
them,
drop off my argument that Sexton should be the halfback.
Okay. I'll tell you how I see it. I thought the first half was very promising, like busy. He was left, he was right, he was threatening. He's so fit and he's in the game, and that's what you want from your halves. The second half, I got a little bit concerned because their attack was poor. It really was, and I couldn't see too much evolution. But then he comes up with the big play to win the game, which is what you need. X factor, class, and under pressure, delivering when you need to deliver at the right time of the game. This is all about evolution and evolving and their attack getting better. That's why they've put him in there. It's the first game, but he's started 7 that they've picked him. So you got to give it time. And I think at the end of the day, it's a really good result because he'll take a lot of confidence from that first one. I think Buzz, in 3 weeks, you can go, you know what? It's either a failure or it's a success.
Yeah.
But right now, there's still time.
Well, Cameron Serrato's a great coach. And Cameron Serrato, if he thinks he's going to turn them into a more lethal attacking side...
What do you think, Dan? You feel like I can feel you wanting to jump in here.
I respect the move. I don't respect how it went down. We all agree it stunk from the moment, and I know I'm going over old territory, but from the moment Gus referred to Galvin as the best teenager he's ever seen, that's a guy that coached Brad Fittler as a teenager, right through all the events till he arrived at the Bulldogs, the whole thing has stunk. Okay, but that past is the past, and I think we have to stop looking through the prism of how we got to here, and now we have to look at this from a distance and take away how it happened, why it happened. And both that attack was struggling.
Oh, they can't win the comp playing like they did on the weekend.
But hang on.
Well, you mean before?
Before.
Yeah, same.
You said, and I saw it on the show, you intimated that their attack was not going to trouble the likes of Melbourne, Canberra.
Did you watch the second half in Canberra when they came back from 20 down?
That's one good half of football, one good attacking half of football.
I was there when they had 65,000 people, and I know it's only South, and South were wounded. Easter Monday or Good Friday, whenever it was, they blew them off the park.
Hang on, so be strong here, Buzz.
Yeah, I don't get it.
You're saying that they'd be better off with Sexton or not?
Oh, what I'm saying to you is I don't like the way it's happened. I think if a halfback is good enough to lead the competition with, I think he deserves to keep his spot in the side. I'm not here to argue with someone as knowledgeable as Cameron Serrato, who is a super coach in the making, if he thinks that he can get more for that football side, you got to back him. You got to.
This is a tough league, right? And tough things happen. Where I feel sorry for Sexton is Canterbury people behind the scenes feeding journos stats, feeding journos bits and pieces so they can write things about Toby Sexton and where he struggled, and the first half against Canberra was terrible. And that stuff happened, and that stuff goes on, softening the ground so when this happened, we wouldn't be shocked by it. My question to you, Braith, can they do this in 6 weeks? It's not a long time, Braith, and they've got Melbourne in round 25. I'm looking at that. I think that's potentially must win because that'll be for top 2. And Braith, to be honest, I think they're going to have to get a couple of finals at home if they're a fair income chance.
They've got some work to do. They can do it. They can do it. But if you look at the teams that are in form at the moment, Canberra, even Penrith, Brisbane, Manly showed form on the weekend. Even the Warriors. There's a lot of teams that have levelled up with them now, in terms of the way they're playing at the right time of the year. But because I don't think it's just all about Galvin. I think there's other players in that team that's form has dropped. I really do. And I think that's actually impacted the team as well. It's not just about the 7. It's not just about getting that combination right. Even their key players, Critter was really good on the weekend, come up with that individual effort for a try, but even his form over the last month's dropped a little bit. Sherry's injured. Burton wasn't great on the weekend. So they actually need their big guns to stand up again, as they had done for the majority of the year.
Well, Origin knocked them about. They lost a few to Origin. King and Burton was 18th man one week, and Crichton was gone, and the lock forward, the utility play, went to Queensland.
But as Galvin gets more comfortable, Braith, they'll get better. As he gets more comfortable with the blokes around him, they get more comfortable with him. They know because he's a bit of an unpredictable player. I can imagine he would be not hard to play with, but he'd take a bit of getting used to because he likes to be so involved and so all over the park. So they'll improve. They'll get better.
It's interesting, right? Penrith with how they handle Blaze Talangi. Now, they were in desperate straits early, but they did not put him in as 5'8" until round 6 because they wanted to be sure he was ready for the Penrith system. I suspect that's more about defence than anything. But they were patient. But it took 6 weeks for them to be comfortable. So is it possible, Braith, to have Galvin fit in, and he's a very different style of player to Canterbury, can it be sorted in 6, 7 weeks?
I think it can be. And the weekend was the first step. They won the game. They took a risk. He came up with the big play, and the rest have got to evolve around him. Now,